hi Chris. Thanks for your interest for getting some personal training sessions. Before we go any further, could you please answer the first page of this screening form? This is just to make sure that we don't expose you to any unnecessary risk. So please answer whatever you know. And if you have any question, then please let me know if you don't understand any part of the form.
Okay, it's pretty much completed. The only one notified or identified as the glycemic control. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes about 2 years ago or a year ago, but I haven't taken any insulin for about 1 to 2 years since I've been doing a bit of gym, a bit of exercise. So I was diagnosed, but I don't take any insulin now.
Okay, so what was your average blood sugar level when you were first diagnosed?
Between 22 and 25.
Okay, so that is
Normality is about 25 and 7.
so that is actually pretty high. So did you get medical advice from the doctor?
Yes, I was probably diagnosed with type 2 and prescribed insulin.
No, I mean before you stopped taking insulin, like did the doctor say it's okay for you to do that?
After I ran out of insulin and didn't go back to the doctor for a prescription, we went back to him after a period or during a period of we did a gym challenge thing, and my blood sugar was ranging between 7 and 10, and he said that was fantastic work, everything looks really good, just carry on doing what you're doing. So exercise was enabling the blood sugar to be controlled, and because it's type 2, it's a bit of a diet change as well, so everything combined reduced the diabetes and reduced the blood sugar level down to my body started managing it rather than having to take insulin.
Okay, so you have been getting on top of your blood sugar level and you didn't really have any issues after stopping?
No. So I can eat sweet things and do things like that, it's like a normal diet, but as long as I don't overdo it and as long as I continue exercising, then it's all good.
Okay, obviously I'm not a medical expert, but I can say if at any stage your blood sugar level goes high again, then please go and see your doctor and see whether you can continue with the exercise again. But otherwise, I think everything looks fine. You don't smoke. Do you drink any alcohol? Or
No.
Okay, and you don't have any other known underlying
No,
issues?
just diabetes stuff.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, let's look at the next page. So it is about the injury. So do you have any known injuries?
Currently I have a bursa injury, which is a hip and also lower back, and I had a injury in the gym about 2 years ago where I was doing exercise and I hurt my sternum, and it still reoccurs during certain exercises, and I'm a bit weak in that area. So
okay, so could you please maybe tick and circle the part based on your knowledge? It wouldn't have the option for sternum, but yeah, you can just like make a note that you do have a sternum injury.
Yeah, it's just in here. I was doing a jack press with a ball and it jolted something, and it took a while to heal. It's still not quite right, but it doesn't preclude me from doing most exercises. Just it just gets a bit sore.
So how long ago was it?
It was about a year and a half. So
Year and a half ago.
So it's a fair way away.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
a long time ago.
how bad was the injury when you first?
Oh, it was incredibly bad. I couldn't even touch it. It was that painful.
Okay, and how long did it take you to come, like, for it to come right? Like, so you could
To
at
get the
least do
pain
some
level down, it
exercise.
was probably about 6 to 8 weeks, and it's still still gives me grief, and if I do an exercise that hurts it the same way, especially taking like a bench fly or something, it separates out, it hurts, but yeah, as long as I'm aware of what I'm doing, it's fine.
Okay.
And the other
So-
two muscle injuries were lower back, and as I said before, the bursa. Lower back one's pretty much okay. I've had exercise and stretching, and that's okay. The bursa is still a little bit sore, and I'm getting physio treatment for it currently.
So your sore is the hip flexor is quite
Bursa.
yeah. Okay. And the lower lumbar it's hurting you.
That was a previous injury, but it's come right with physio treatment, and it doesn't give me too much of a problem. It's just really the hip and the sternum that still carrying on.
Okay. Because of your injury, like, are you restricted doing any kind of movement?
Lunges are a bit painful with the hip, but outside of that, the sternum just gives me a bit of issue trying to do odd exercises. So nothing strength wise, more things like bear crawl, things like that put a differing range of stress on the muscle if it opens up and does it just on one side or the other. So doing bicep curls is fine, doing all that kind of bar work's fine, but anything involved that kind of work is not very pleasant.
How about like bench press? Like, did you try those kind of
Anything's fine if it's with both arms at the same time. If it's one arm doing things, it's a little bit not so nice. Things like the one that does cause problems is things like pushing things above my head or pushing things out in front of, holding a weight out in front of me. So that's where it's putting strain on that part of the
so
body.
extending your like those kind of movements.
So doing clean and press is fine, but doing holding a weight above me or doing squat things where you squat with the weight out in front of you, I can't do that because of the angle at which it's putting strain on the muscle. But doing things like lifting weights above my head and down below, that's fine, but just not out in front.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so how painful would it be if you did those kind of?
I just can't do it.
You just can't do it. Okay. And because of your psoas, the hip flex, the bursa, how about squat? How deep can you squat?
Not terribly deep, because it's actually at the bursa, it starts to get compressed when you start going down to the lower ranges. So things like lunges, very painful on both sides, and also squats. I can go down, but not full range squats. So for a 3/4 squat.
3/4, okay. But it's less painful compared to lunges.
Yes,
Doing squats.
Lunges are very painful. Almost not possible to do, especially not possible to do them quickly. So doing one slow, still very painful, but I can't do them quickly.
Okay. And any other exercise that you would struggle with?
Not really. Mainly those ones that involve.
Anything opening chest?
Yeah, I mean, so bench flies are okay, but not with heavy weights. And the exercise of lifting stuff up in front, can't do that. So.
Okay. So if you've seen physio, like, did the physio give you any kind of exercise to mitigate?
For the bursa, I've got an exercise just for strengthening the muscles around it. But because it's a bursa injury, massage or something like that's out of the question because it's actually irritation. For the sternum, I don't know what options are available for that. It was really just it sort of came right. For my back, it was squats and lots of ab work to strengthen up, because I think it was the injury was caused, as I said, because I was using my back instead of using abs to strengthen up. So I've done lots of ab works and they've become quite good. So my back has settled down quite a lot.
Okay, so you have used you have tried to
lots of strengthening the abs, strengthen the core,
muscles,
strengthen the core.
It got better.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to hear. So how long have you seen your physio for?
About the same length of time, so about 2 years.
Okay.
For various different things.
So various different.
Yeah, but those are the three main ones that have cropped up.
Okay. So so I'll make a note of your injuries and your limitations. And are you on any medication at the moment? I know you.
No, I had insulin. That was it. So that was I think it's been about a year year and a half now. I haven't had any incidents, so
Okay.
that was the only medication.
Okay. So okay. So please sign if you the informed consent part that I explained about, like we discussed about your injuries and the limitation and 7th of March. Okay, thank you. So the next part is about like the program information. So there are various categories. So you can take multiple. So what would be your main goal that you want to achieve through personal training?
So I think those three there: strength, muscle mass, and flexibility. I think I'll recognise I've got an issue with perhaps strength and muscle mass, which is why my chest is not quite healing up properly, and flexibility because I want to get some more flexibility in the hips, either front and side split type scenario, because I used to be flexible, but I think that might be the reason why my hips not so good at the moment is because I've not got the flexibility that I should have.
Okay. So would you say you were like reasonably flexible?
I still am
In the
reasonably
past?
flexible,
Okay.
much more flexible than my fiance.
Okay, so mostly, like most of time males are less flexible than female, but okay. But would you say like your flexibility decreased since you had these injuries?
I think so. I think the hips caused lots of problems in lots of different areas. As I say, I can't do a proper lunge, so doing stretching is a little bit awkward, a little bit painful.
Okay, so let's say like what would you want to achieve like in terms of like flexibility? So if you want to see that you have improved, like how would you
I
want to
think
achieve?
just getting back to where I was. I mean, I used to be able to do side splits and front splits, so I'm a little bit away from that at the moment.
Could you split like straight,
I could do side split.
like quite straight? Okay, so how much can you split now because of your injury?
Well, as I say, anything involves any compression on the hip is painful, so I can't really do much stretching at the moment.
Okay.
But what I can do is probably about 70%, 60% what I had before.
Okay.
So I think it's just getting some flexibility in there and getting some strength on the muscles around the hip to take some of the pressure off.
Okay. So and you're still doing the exercises that
Yeah, still doing the physio prescribed exercises.
Okay. And the front splits, how deep can you do front split?
Oh, I'd say probably
Can you touch ground or
almost on the ground, but again that's not really as much of a priority as not the side split one, probably more than the front split.
Because side split it irritates your bursa more when you
No, I
split?
think front split does, but I think
Front
side
split
split's
does.
probably the one to focus on
Okay.
for flexibility.
Okay. So in what time frame would you like to achieve this? Would you say 6 weeks, 8 weeks?
I'd probably say 8 weeks, a couple of months.
8 weeks? And would you feel more comfortable if somebody's like watching like and spotting you when you're doing this flexibility or stretch exercises?
If you're going to do a stretch, you need to have someone who's pushing you to do it. Otherwise, you're not really going to get there. So yeah.
Okay. So you would like a program which has some kind of flexibility,
Yep.
stretching routines in. Okay. So and you also say strengths, and you say like you might have injured potentially because you lacked strengths in your
Oh, that's more around the chest area. So the hips and that. I think legs need a bit of strength because I think I'm lacking a little bit there, and I think the chest injury and the lower back. The lower back's gone away because I've strengthened up core, but I think the chest one could do with a bit more strength, a bit more muscle mass to actually protect it. So I think that's something that needs to be built up because it's still as painful sometimes as it was when it first happened, which is not good. So either something's very wrong or there's not enough muscle protection around the area to stop it from happening again. So probably that's something that needs to be worked on.
Okay, so if we set up your goal for strength, would you like to, I don't know, because you mentioned about strengthening your chest muscle, chest area, and also your lower body as well. So for chest, like if you want to see that your strength has improved, like what would you set your goal as? Would you like to see yourself lifting, I don't know, 5 kg or 10 kg heavier for like bench press?
It's kind of hard to quantify, but I think it's a matter of you probably increase the amount, probably 10, 20 kgs.
Okay.
But it's a gradual thing over a period of time. It's not going to happen overnight. So it's a case of having exercise around not just the one muscle, because that's going to overload one part, but to increase back, shoulder, neck, back, shoulder, chest. So pretty much upper body, but also incorporate back as well, because it'll help with posture and hopefully with giving a bit more muscle mass to be able to absorb any awkwardness.
Yeah,
So
I think that posture stuff is quite important. Like, would you say like, do you work in office? Do you mostly?
Yeah, I have a sedentary job, so I spend all time sitting. So having a better posture or a bit more strength, a bit more correctness and body posture will help.
Okay, I think especially your injuries here, so I think you might naturally want to
yes,
forward
rolling shoulders
because it's quite painful. So I think it is a good thing to do. So in 8 weeks, if you try hard, obviously you can achieve quite a bit, because a lot of gyms, they do like 6 weeks challenge or 8 weeks challenge. So for muscle mass increase, what would you see like from week 1 to week 8? How would you want to see the difference?
Okay, that's another hard one to quantify, because you're either looking at it before and after, or you can do measurements. I mean, the basic one will be chest, arms, shoulders. So either before, after photo, front, back, side, and then either tape measure. But it's something you'll be able to feel in yourself, and especially if you're looking at photos before and after, you can see the development, but you can also see the developmental change of posture as well. So how you're standing when you get photos taken. So it does give you a very graphic picture of what you were before, during and after. So that's a fairly easy way to quantify it. Plus you also you would feel different as well, and you'd feel a bit more solid. You'd feel that you're plus if you're doing the weights, you'd be able to lift heavier without having too much of a it'll be easier at the end than it will be at the beginning.
Okay, so would you like to put photo on like when you start, and maybe in the midway and at the end?
Yeah, probably halfway through, so 1-4-8, something like that.
Okay. Week 1, week 4, and week 8. Yeah, and as you say, you can maybe do like a body fat caliper stuff if you want to see how much muscle body fat you have. But as you say, it's something that you can feel yourself, that you feel you're stronger.
Yeah.
And
you can see it in the photo evidence. So you take it in the same place, same time, same lighting. It should be fairly obvious if you're changing.
Definitely. And because you said you want to increase your muscle mass, I'm not a professional nutritionist, obviously, but how's your eating? Would you say you're eating enough protein and carb?
Probably could eat more, but again, if you're going to increase the weight training regime, I'll probably need to increase weighting more, because you're going to be expending more calories.
Yeah.
So you put more protein in.
Okay. So would you say you eat at regular times, or is it quite irregular? Okay.
Regular times.
Okay. How many meals do you have a day?
2
2.
or 3. Sometimes, well, depending, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So
Okay.
definitely 2, and breakfast depending on time constraints and things.
Okay. I would say if you are wanting to increase your muscle, I think it's important for you to have regular meals.
Yeah.
So a lot of bodybuilders, they have like about 5 meals or even 7, 8 meals a day, depending on who they are. So do not skip your breakfast if you can, and just try to have 3 meals a day, and just try to have balanced diet. So protein and carb. Yeah. So otherwise, do you eat healthy?
Yeah,
Not too much
don't drink
takeaways.
fast foods. Don't drink fast food. Don't drink sugar drinks. So always no sugar. Don't eat takeaways.
Yeah.
Don't really eat McDonald's or KFC or anything like that. It's usually pretty healthy.
Because as you say, if your blood sugar level came down naturally through eating, your diet and exercise, and obviously you should have been eating quite healthy.
Pretty much maintain those eating habits. So.
Yeah, but if you want to increase your muscle mass, you just need to eat food.
Yeah, eat more
to
protein.
build muscle. Yeah. Okay, so are you doing any exercise at the moment?
Currently, just gym work. So
Just
do some
gym?
gym and personal training, boxing, personal training.
What gym do you go to?
Les Mills.
Les Mills. Is it the one in CBD?
Oh yeah, Victoria
The
Street.
main one? Oh, okay. And you do personal training? So that's not weights?
No, just do normal class at Les Mills. So the sprint class,
Okay.
the boxing fit class, and functional training with the ceremony class. So mainly those 3 classes, and the occasional body pump class, which is a strength-based class for all muscle groups.
Okay, so do you use weights in the gym?
Only in the yes, in the functional class, and in the boxing fit class, and body pump is all weights.
Okay, but not the designated weight.
No, not a free weight training routine or anything. Just weights within the class itself.
Is there any reason that you didn't do those free weights in the gym? Do you need somebody to?
I just need a proper program of tailored around what I want to achieve.
Okay, so how often do you do these classes?
Varies depending on whether they cancel or we go into COVID, but usually about four times a week.
4 times a week?
That's a combination of those classes.
Okay, so do you go to gym like every day?
As I say, a combination of those classes. So sometimes I might just go to a boxing PT class or boxing technique class, but generally try and get to the gym maybe 3 days or 4 days a week,
Okay.
and then maybe a couple of PT sessions.
Okay. So for PT sessions, you say some boxing PT sessions. So obviously you just focus on the boxing techniques and.
It's just a bit of fitness work, a bit of core work, and focusing on boxing drills. So nothing weight related, nothing. Do a little bit of cardio, but not a lot. It's more just the pure boxing.
Okay. And you do it weekly?
Yes.
Okay. And do you do anything else? Like, do you play any other sports? Or any other activities that you might?
No, that's it.
Okay, so just.
Although I've done aerial yoga a couple of times.
Aerial
That was interesting.
yoga. Okay. How did you find aerial yoga?
Very good.
Very good. Yeah. Would you say that helps with your flexibility?
It does. It's got quite good stretch in it, and doing flips and a few other sort of things is quite fun.
Okay.
But it's definitely not aimed at males doing it. It's definitely aimed at females.
Okay. Yeah, I think there are more females doing that more than males, but yeah, I did it myself before, and I actually quite enjoyed it. It's good way to like strengthen and also to to stretch, and it was pretty hard, I have to say. So while you do some like program, like the personal training program, are you still going to go to the gym?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, and how often do you do aerial yoga? Do you do it regularly or?
No, it was very irregularly, just doing personal training sessions with one of the instructors. So only when they're available and we're available, I'm available.
And how long do you normally stay in the gym?
Just as long as the class takes. So if I do 2 classes in a row, it's probably about 90 minutes.
90
it's one
minutes?
class, it's about 45 minutes.
Okay. So obviously you work full time. So are you a morning person or evening person? Evening
for gym work. So probably anywhere between anytime after 5:30, and usually for about 2 hours. So it's because we have any PT training, obviously it's around 6 o'clock. So anytime from 5 to 6 or from 5 onwards.
Okay, so you would like to do it maximum 2 hours, hour and a half to maximum 2 hours for this?
Yeah, maximum 2 hours because as I already do 90 minutes, 45 minutes in the gym. So if there was any other routine to do after that, probably about half an hour to an hour.
Okay. Do you have any rest day?
Sunday.
So you don't do anything on Sunday?
No gym work on Sunday.
How about Saturday?
Saturday's normally a big day for training because I normally do 8 o'clock class, then a 9:30 class, then a PT class, then another PT class. So usually 4 hours with effort, basically.
Okay, so you're already quite busy.
Yeah, but Saturday afternoon is fine. I mean, if it's a half hour routine, then it can be done in between other classes.
Okay. Yeah, just need to make sure that you don't overtrain yourself. Yeah, because it's important for your body to have a rest. So how long have you been going to Les Mills?
2 years or so.
2 years?
2.5 years.
And did you have any other like membership elsewhere?
We started with Anytime.
Okay.
And that's what got us into the gym, and we did the basic classes there and then did the gym challenge, and I did okay, but I lost about 10-11 kgs, and that's what got me off the insulin, but we needed a few more harder classes, and went to Les Mills for physio and ended up joining because there were lots more availability of classes, and group classes that were actually more focused around what we wanted to do.
Okay, so obviously you like the classes at Les Mills more.
I think they're bigger and they're slightly more focused on exercise, whereas Anytime classes were very small for very small groups of people, like about 7 or 8 people, whereas Les Mills have got up to 40 people in a class, so it's a bit more enjoyable.
Okay.
And a bit more challenging because it's obviously bigger class, more equipment, more exercises to do, more machines, so overall it's a lot more opportunity to do more things.
Okay. So based on the information that I have, with your goals and your injuries and whatnot, let's just set your short-term goal as 8 weeks. Yeah, to see what you can achieve and what difference you can make. So I'm thinking to do the weight routine and some flexibility and stretch exercises at the end. So we are going to focus on one body like parts, let's say upper body, lower body a day, just to give the other muscle groups some rest. And I think it will be better for you to be spotted for the flexibility exercise so you don't go overboard and injure yourself further. Yeah, so what kind of exercise do you like to do? What did you enjoy previously?
Anything except running. So I really don't like running. Although treadmill running is fine because it's running in place. It's more comfortable. And of course anything like sled or lifting weights up in front, I can't do, so anything apart from those exercises.
Would you say you would have been okay with those exercises if you didn't have the injury?
Correct.
Okay.
Because running is also impact work, so running on hard ground is not pleasant. Running on treadmill was bearable.
Okay, so did you hate running from the time?
I just don't like running at all. It's my least favourite exercise.
Okay, so you hated running since ages ago.
Mm.
So you wouldn't do running as your first choice cardio?
No.
Okay. So.
But doing rowing machine, obviously, because of the hip, it does get a little bit painful. So, and on a bike, so as I say, it's something to work around and just work with the pain.
Okay. But you mentioned that you are doing the sprint, lesson of
Yeah.
sprint class. So
As I say, working through the pain.
So is it manageable still?
Biking is okay if you're sitting down. If you're standing up pedaling, it's a bit hard.
Okay.
And it's the getting up, sitting down that's the hard part because you're having to push off. So sitting down doing just pedaling's fine. Standing up pedaling's okay, but sitting up, standing down, that's hard. That's where it starts to hurt. Same with rowing, pushing with the legs, that's where it starts to hurt. So it's just a matter of mitigating the pain by just doing what you can do.
Okay. And you like doing everything else?
Yeah, pretty much everything else.
Okay. So you're a very already fit person.
Yeah. Yes. Well, again, so pushing a sled, that's not very pleasant because it's the same sort of thing as holding a weight out. You're pushing weight in front of you. So again, it's a bit of stretching. So pretty much everything else that I've done in the gym's okay, except for that kind of work.
Okay. So obviously you enjoy boxing because you have been doing boxing for a long time and you enjoy all these classes. You just don't like running or pushing sled.
Yeah. Well, anything, and so that also includes, as I say, like the medicine ball, so lifting the medicine ball above your head, doing things like that, because if anything comes out in front or you're holding a weight, that starts to hurt too much.
So if the instructor asks you to do the exercise that you don't like in the class, what
I just do something else.
Okay, so you modify.
Yeah, just modify.
Okay.
And I usually chat to the instructor before or after to say, I can't do that.
Okay.
And they say just do something else.
And they understand that, which is good. Okay. I think that's about the questions that I need to ask you before I go into the detailed program. So do you have any questions?
No, not really. That's good.
Okay, so I'll give you my number. So if you have any questions, then you can just contact me at any time, and I'll just write more detailed program based on this information, and we'll go through the program, and let's see whether you are happy with it, and we can just trial it and see whether it works for you, and if anything doesn't work with your injuries and whatnot, and then you can let me know and we can just make some modification. But I'm here for you, and if you have any questions, then please let me know.
That's good.
Thank you for the interview today.
Thank you.
Thank you.